This looked like a toy, but it was solving a problem nobody said out loud. In 1950, an American company sold children a lab kit with actual uranium ore inside, and many parents read the box and thought, good, safe enough, even admirable. The toy was the Gilbert U-238 Atomic Energy Lab. If you know the name at all, it probably arrives as a punchline. The radioactive toy, the crazy thing from the 1950s. But if we stop at the joke, we miss something else. We miss the real story. Parents were not reckless cartoon characters. They were making a choice that felt rational inside a very particular moment. You have to enter the world they were living in. World War II has just ended. Radar, penicillin, jet engines, and the bomb have turned science into a force that seems to rewrite reality on command. Newspapers talk about atomic power with a strange mix of terror and reverence. The atom looks dangerous, yes, but also clean, modern, and unstoppable. That matters, because danger alone does not sell a toy to a parent. Prestige does. Legitimacy does. The Atomic Energy Lab came from A.C. Gilbert, the same company behind the wildly successful Erector Set. Gilbert had spent decades building a reputation around educational play. His products promised disciplined fun. The message was simple. A child playing with this was not wasting time. A child was preparing for life. So when Gilbert releases an atomic set, many families do not read it as a stunt. They read it as an upgrade. A chemistry set for the atomic age. The box itself helps do the persuading. Serious black case, ordered compartments, technical diagrams. It looks closer to professional equipment than a carnival trick. Inside are real pieces of science theater. A Geiger counter, a spinthariscope, a cloud chamber, electroscope materials, 4 kinds of uranium-bearing ore, instruction books that teach you how to measure radiation and run demonstrations at home. This is crucial. The set does not hide the grand experiment that it was in the 50s. Radiation. It turns radiation into something visible, countable, manageable. And that may be the deepest reason parents trusted it. Fear shrinks when you can put it on a dial. The post-war middle class is learning to trust expert systems. Test it, measure it, follow the booklet. If trained adults have arranged this into a product, your job is to supervise, not to doubt, not to panic. The box even carries the language of seriousness. It suggests training for future scientists. It borrows authority from laboratories, universities, and government excitement around atomic research. You are not buying a novelty. You are buying admission into the future. For a parent in 1950, that future feels urgent, because beneath the cheerful sales copy sits a quiet pressure. The Cold War is beginning. America needs engineers. It needs physicists. It needs young minds who can master the forces that just ended a world war and may shape the next one. The toy speaks directly to that anxiety without saying it too loudly. A good parent in the 1950s is asked to do more than keep a child entertained. A good parent helps produce competence, respectability, achievement. The Atomic Energy Lab slides neatly into that ideal. Build character. This box might build a scientist. There is another piece we forget. Radiation in the early 20th century had a long public life as a miracle ingredient. Radium appeared in quack products, health tonics, beauty treatments, and luminous watch dials before its dangers became widely understood. By 1950, experts absolutely know a great deal more.
But public culture still carries leftover atomic glamour. So the word radioactive does not land with one clean meaning. It carries menace, but also progress. It suggests hidden power. In popular magazines and World's Fair fantasies, atomic energy promises better homes, better medicine.
Even cars and kitchens transformed by science. A parent hears atomic and may picture tomorrow before they picture contamination. Advertising helps smooth the edges. Mid-century ads are masters of visual reassurance. Boys in tidy clothes lean over instruments. Smiling adults observe from nearby. The scenes are orderly. No one looks alarmed. That emotional staging matters more than any fine print. You borrow your feelings from the picture. The price tells its own story too. Around $50 in 1950. That is expensive, very expensive for a toy, which means the set markets itself upward. It aims at households with money, ambition, and faith in education. Expensive objects often inherit trust because people assume someone important must have vetted them, and yet the trust was never absolute. Here is where the story turns a little. The Atomic Energy Lab was not a mass market smash. Sales were limited. Some stores were cautious. Some parents surely hesitated. The set was admired more than it was widely adopted. Even in its own time, it sat at the edge of what felt acceptable.
It existed at all. That fact tells you how broad the lane of trust really was. The included ore was low grade. The instructions did not urge children to swallow dust or sleep with the samples under their pillow. By the standards of the moment, the risk seemed controlled. The company counted on that distinction. Modern retellings sometimes exaggerate the set into a box of death, and that misses the sharper truth. The danger was smaller than the myth.
But the confidence was enormous. That gap is the part worth staring at. Real uranium ore plus ordinary family trust. That combination is more revealing than any panic headline. The federal government plays a role in the atmosphere too. During the early atomic era, officials promote public understanding of nuclear science while also managing fear around weapons testing and national security. School films, magazine features, and official language often present atomic knowledge as citizenship. Learn the science, trust the system, stay calm. That message reaches the living room. Parents are being trained, gently, to treat modern hazards as technical questions best handled by experts. You can see the same instinct in household chemicals, leaded gasoline, cigarettes in doctors' ads, and miracle materials like asbestos. If the institutions look confident, families often mirror that confidence. The Atomic Energy Lab also flatters a parent's self-image. Buying it says something. My child is serious. Our home values learning. We are not afraid of the future. A scientific toy can feel morally cleaner than pure amusement. It promises discipline with a little thrill tucked inside, and children understand that thrill immediately. You open the case and the room changes. Invisible forces are suddenly audible as clicks. A little vial of ore turns into evidence that the world is stranger than it looks. Any child would remember that. Any parent watching from the doorway might feel pride instead of dread. That emotional split is the whole mystery. We inherit the mushroom cloud. They inherit the laboratory, fallout maps, and long cancer studies. They picture school science fairs, government documentaries, and a future run by engineers in white coats. Same atom, different story wrapped around it. The toy disappears fairly quickly for practical reasons. Cost hurts sales. Replacing some components becomes difficult. Growing caution around radioactive materials does not help. The set never becomes a durable staple in American homes. It lingers instead as a cultural fossil, a perfect object for showing how a society teaches people what to trust. And what parents trusted was not really the ore, it was the frame around the ore. The manuals, the company name, the classroom language, the national mood, the promise that modern life could be made safe by measurement. Once you see that frame, the purchase stops looking bizarre. It starts looking familiar. Because we still do this. Different materials, different screens, different official smiles. We keep handing complex systems to families with a soft assurance that someone somewhere has tested the edges. Sometimes that confidence is earned. Sometimes it takes decades to learn the price. So the darkest part of the Atomic Energy Lab is not that a child once held uranium with parental permission. It is how easy it is for an era to package uncertainty as progress, slide it across a counter, and call it education. Tell me one nostalgic thing nobody talks about anymore.